Okay, so welcome everyone to the Greener Closing Conference. We are recording, just a reminder, if you aren't speaking, to make sure you're on mute. And if you have any questions for any of the speakers, please feel free to put them into the chat. So this is our closing conference, and we will share. I'll share a little bit on what we have been working on Greener for the last year. But since that's what we've already done, and we're still focusing on what we can keep accomplishing, we're going to focus most of our time on sharing information about other energy services and options, rather than talking about what we've been doing for the last year. Anyway, thank you for joining us again, and we hope you enjoy the conference. I know that a lot of you are already very familiar with what Greener is, so we're not going to go into too much detail there, except to say that we are a collaboration of 3 NPA projects, and our goal is to expand and increase awareness of energy efficiency and renewable solutions. And again, we're representing 3 projects. Myself, Anne-Marie from ERNACT, based in County Donegal in Ireland. I'm representing SmartTIC, which created a smart energy management model to help guide deployments of energy efficiency in public buildings. We also have LECO, which is working to generate self-sufficient local energy communities, represented by Central University, and HCHP, promoting combined heat and power systems for individual rural households, represented by Marku at University of Oulu. And as I said, very briefly, what we've been doing, the whole purpose behind Greener was to increase the reach of the good energy practices and services that the 3 projects have either created or become familiar with through our projects. So we have shared this information in as many forums and as many formats as we possibly could. Obviously, we used the Greener website. We've used social media channels. We've sent newsletters to over 3,000 recipients, created news items and press releases. Centria and University of Oulu have shared the good practices and services through their extensive knowledge centre networks. They have written blogs in both Finnish and English that have been shared. We've also presented examples of these good practices and services at our 3 previous seminars. We have represented Greener and its practices at NPA events, at energy fairs, and all sorts of other kind of events. And we're currently putting together plans for a proposal for the next NPA funding program. So this slide just shows you very briefly our from our website, from the Greener website, where we've done a little map that shows where the practices and services have been created, and gives you some information, videos. All of that good information is shared on the Greener website. So please feel free to have a look at that. And if you have any questions about any of them, there is contact information for each one of the services on the website. So as I said, we don't want to focus too much on what we've done, but more about new ideas and thinking that we can share. In our seminar, we had some excellent presentations on some of the technologies, but a lot more on the methodologies and the lessons learned of implementing energy efficiency systems and methodologies in communities and municipalities, and on the engagement factor in that as well. The speakers we have for our closing conference are going to share some of the practical side of implementing energy efficiency systems and some future solutions. So I will hand over now to, I believe, Mark, who's going to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Next speaker is Sami Vinkki. Sami is a son of Pekka Vinkki, who is the founder of the Demega Ltd. Demega is one of the leading farm-scale biogas plant manufacturers. The company offers full online monitoring and maintenance services around the clock. So people in Demega knows all the time what is going on in all their plants without the client has to worry about it. But let's Sami tell us more. Sami, screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Markku, your presentation, and then I think I shared my screen and I give you some more knowledge about Finnish biogas company and our products. Okay, I hope you see that.
Yes. Thanks.
Yes.
All right. So Demega is company from Haapavesi, Finland. It's 100 kilometers from Oulu to south, and here we manufacturing biogas plant for the farms. So it's so-called farm sites or farm scale biogas plants, and we do biogas producing and also biomethane upgrading systems and filling stations. And if we go forward, you will see what is the benefits in the farm when you recycle manure through the biogas plant, manure or grass or other things. But of course, there is a big mega trends recycling biomass and emissions have to reduce and so on. But still, there is lots of benefits to get more money to farmers, and that's the main thing. And also, of course, environmental things is very important as well as. So there is a biogas plant which is modularized, and it's so-called kiintomädätys. It's state digestion system, and it's patented 2014, and we have developed it from the early 2000 when local people start to think that we have to do a great biogas plant to northern, and we have developed a lot. And 2016 we start to sell these kind of plants, and now we have 10 plants in Finland running, and at the moment we have 9 projects producing. So last year and especially this year has been a very busy, and I have sold in this early year in half year 5 new plants to Finnish farmers, and it's growing up now, and it's of course this everything local and around the world, this problem that we have a hard situation with energy and food and so on. So we really want to stand with farmers, and we try to help them to in a long term thinking that we can do ourselves our energy. Back to the technique, there is a system that we can take every feeds. It doesn't matter what dry material content is, that it can be from 0 to 100%, and it can be liquid or grass or anything. We just mix them, homogenized and pump to the reactor and made the good gas, and then it have to be clean gas that we can save our motors and so on. So this is a CHP plant which is making a heat and electricity to the farm. In this modular factory built plant complex, it's a big benefit that we don't need to dig earth a lot. We just we don't need to think so much how we can to base biogas plant, and it's easy to export, and it's easy if farmers, if there's some damage or some problems that you stop your milking production or things like that, we can move this plant the other place, and that's a big benefit for modular system. So it's not actually a building, so big building site, but we are just leaving those containers and reactor there, and that's it. And then here in Haapavesi we have a biomethane gas upgrading in a farm size system, and this local farmer is filling Valio's milk truck, and this milk truck is filling tanks on the farm, and that's a great thing, and there is nothing between a farmer and milk truck, but it's going straight to the tank. And here is Valio's, they are going towards carbon neutral milk, and that's the one reason most of milking farmers is Valio's milkers, and they together they want to reduce emissions, and that will be a very big challenge, but it will be a great thing. So in this case, Vuorenmaa, the first pilot project for us, and in Finland, where biogas from manure is locally processed to biomethane and use it in milk logistic, and that's in this picture you see everything. There is a biogas plant on top of the picture, and there is a CHP production, and then gas pipe comes through here to upgrading system, and we fill tanks. I fill my own gas car tank also there in the farm, and that's actually it's a great thing. A little bit this finance. If we think about this kind of farm size biogas plant this is for the one. It's actually this kind of biogas plant. Oh, sorry. Where is a CHP unit and just the raw gas producing. So it's not actually so difficult to calculate that it's good investment, but of course it takes about 10 years. In this case, payback period is about 9.5 years, and in the farms it's good. It's not a problem, and it is you need see that net cash flow. You see it's positive all the time. So why not to invest? And that's it's not so difficult, I think. Anyway, thank you very much. This was my presentation. If you have any questions, maybe a few minutes.
Thank you, Sami. I have a question because I live right next to a farm in Ireland, a small one. I was just wondering what scale does the farm need to be? How big does the farm need to be to make the plant viable? Or is it how many animals, or how is that determined?
Yeah, it depends on how you think about are you making a CHP or gas or something to your own farm consuming? That if you sell it, you need the cars to fill tanks, and if you are making CHP to your own farm, you need to be in Finland. It's about 200 cows,
Okay.
and then there is enough electric consumption and heat consumption. That's a biggest thing. But if you are selling the gas, it's not the same thing. Maybe 100 cows.
Right. Very interesting. Thank you. Fabian has a question as well. Fabian, you want to go ahead and just ask?
Yeah, why not? Okay, I chat anyway. Ask directly. Question about the the CHP engine that you have, or like what kind of power outputs are your plants usually? So if you think about the electric output of the CHP unit, is it like 75 kilowatts or 150 or 250? Like what are normally your plants sized?
Yeah. It depends on farm how much they need to electricity their own, because it's mostly it's not a very good business to sell electricity to the network. So we think how much they are using most of time in the farm. So most of all plants is from 50 to 100 kilowatts.
Oh, okay. And it's mostly just designed for the self-consumption of the farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Heidi has a question too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sami, for your presentation. My question concerns the treatment of digestion residual. How the farms treat that digestion residual? Do they spread that into the field, or are there any possibilities to separate phosphorus and nitrogen, or is it needed?
Yeah, this is my favorite question, because in Finland people speak a lot. We have to move manure to next area, and we have to do big biogas plants that we can separate nitrogen and phosphorus different places and move them all. Sorry, my phone. So it's only in western South Finland where we need to move manure a lot. So mostly in Finnish farms, it's enough that they just spread it to fields, to the grass fields. If you think about milk or meat producing, they need the grass a lot, so they spread there, and it's better fertilizer because nitrogen is more liquid, and that's good. But also we do separating, so we get a dry material the other place and nitrogen liquid spread to the grass. So you can think about how much fertilizer and what fertilizer you need to other fields. You have a challenge, possibilities a lot.
Thank you. What kind of separation methods you have, or is it possible that that can be done by the farms? I mean the separation. So
yeah, we are selling the separation. It's a typical screw separator.
Okay.
That we separate. It's about 25 to even 40 percent dry material, and lots of or many farmers is using also this digesting separated bedding material to the cows, and it needs the 40% dry material. But they are using, and that's the good benefit also.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Very interesting. Okay, we move on to our next.
Yeah, okay. The next speaker is Olli Nurkkala, a service manager from ProAgria Finland. And ProAgria is an expert in agriculture and rural business, and they offer services and expertise for the customers to further develop and grow. So, Olli, you are warmly welcome.
Yes, thank you. And I think the order is of the presentations is a really good one, because Sami told us about farm size, biogas plants, and now I'm going to tell you how we kind of like think with farmers that which solution fits best for them. So I have a few different presentations, so just wait a minute. Share it. First of all, I'm going to tell you shortly about what kind of organization is ProAgria and ProAgria Oulu in particular. We are the leading agricultural advisory organization in northern Finland, and we have about 80 employees. ProAgria nationwide has about 650 employees, so we are quite a big player in rural advisory services when we think the whole Europe as well. Part of our actions is rural women's advisory organization and Oulu Fishery Center as well. We provide an extensive network of specialists and a wide range of services targeted to rural enterprises. For example, we do calculations for farmers how to develop their businesses and so on. And also we have services for dairy farms. We are also involved in many projects. I mean EU projects. For example, from different funding sources such as European Agricultural Fund and for rural development, and European Regional Development Fund and European Social Fund and Horizon 2020. And we have close access to both farmers and agro industries. So we try to develop the rural to develop as a whole. And yeah, that's kind of like our main target, to get the food chain from farm to fork, if I say it shortly. But then I hope this another presentation can be seen in your screens as well. Does it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes. So here are a few main activities that we work on the field of energy. For example, are able to calculate carbon print for every farm. And then we have energy advisory services. For example, energy plans and calculations. We think about the different solutions. For example, solar energy, bioenergy, and whatever it counts like. But the energy plans are quite like big ones, and there are different things to get like into account. Yeah, we also have team groups, which meet regularly in developing bioeconomy and renewable energy advisory services. So kind of like our role is mostly helping farmers to find out which could be the best alternative to their particular farm when it comes to energy. And maybe the solutions that Sami just told us may be the one opportunity. But as we all know, the situation in the whole Europe is now changing, and the role of energy in farms is really significant thing in the near future. We also bring farms the best practices as well via our EU projects, and I want to emphasize our one project, which is CUPID. It is a Horizon project. There is 10 European countries involved, and we have the example that Sami showed us from Haapavesi, this farm which has this bioenergy plant, and they tank this milk truck with the gas. So that is our showcase in this project, and it is really, we are like looking forward to it. We have it in, I think it is in September, if I remember it correctly. But I would like to show you one video about this project too, so you can maybe shortly see what it's all about. So just a while. I tried to share it with you. I'm not sure how it works because I haven't really been sharing any videos lately. So just a moment.
When you click on the share option, make sure that you select the include computer sound option. So,
just a moment.
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Tip.
No problem.
So I think now it should work fine.
Hello and welcome to the introduction of the CUPID project. CUPID stands for Cooperation of Bioeconomy Clusters for Bio-Based Knowledge Transfer via Innovative Dissemination Techniques in the Primary Production Sector. The project initiated in January 2021 and it is coordinated by Cooperativas Agroalimentarias. This project involves 11 partners from 10 different countries across the European Union that work to foster the deployment of innovative bio-based business models in the primary production sector through the implementation of a 4-level knowledge transfer strategy. The CUPID strategy has 4 levels. Each level builds upon the previous one to reach in each step a wider audience, from direct contact with primary producers and networking among their peers, to interactive communication actions and media publications for broader audiences. In Level 1, CUPID partners organize showcase visits to a selection of successful businesses within the bioeconomy in the European Union. Primary producers are directly invited to these visits as CUPID ambassadors to learn hand-to-hand from the case. Level 2 calls the CUPID ambassadors to organize workshops with peer primary producers outside of the project to further disseminate what they have learned. Level 3 supports Level 1 and 2 by implementing interactive dissemination activities for primary producers, academia, and industry, allowing for further dialogue. Lastly, Level 4 develops communication activities to broader audiences, including citizens and the general public. Through this process, the knowledge of sustainable and inclusive bio-based business models is transferred to more than 4,000 primary producers and 5,000 relevant stakeholders across the European Union. This is the CUPID project.
So that was about CUPID, and yeah. I'm not sure what happens.
It's still here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, but there is something weird sound going on.
I'm not hearing it on my side. So, did we lose him?
Hey, Anne-Marie, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it looks like Oli's muted.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay.
I just heard some different. Yes, it was a bit problem in sharing that video, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I hope everything is now okay. So that was about it, my presentation, and I hope you got information what kind of work we do and what kind of projects we have going on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was interesting. It's a good video. Does anyone have any questions for Oli? Nope. Okay. All right, then we can move ahead then with our next speaker.
Okay. The last but not the least speaker today is our greener project colleague, Marko Kananen from University of Oulu. And today Marko will give a presentation about biogas production potential, taking into also account the self-sufficient energy community point of view. And this topic concerns also the possible upcoming project idea and proposal of the greener project in the future. So, Marko, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Heidi. Okay, good afternoon to everybody. I'm Marko Kananen, and I work in the University of Oulu and partly in the Nivala Industrial Park. In Nivala, we have mapped potential biogas production sites and amounts what can be produced as a biogas, and of course the end user also. So there is a consumption also. For this survey, we visited in several farms and enterprises. Nivala is targeting actually to be a carbon neutral in the future. And of course, this biogas production from agriculture side stream is one of these to reach this goal. There is actually a lot of unleashed potential for biogas production in the area. Can you see agenda slide, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Few words about this agenda. I'm not sure if you are aware, but EU has set a new target for energy production, and biomethane production is one of those targets. Then I will tell you a little bit about biogas potential in whole Finland. Ossi Kotavaara from Kerttu Saalasti Instituutti has mapped potential biogas plants in location in northern Ostobotnia. Then we have mapped actually potential biogas from manure and also field mass, so-called green mass. And we have also visited in some potential locations, farms, so we know where these biogas plants could be built in Nivala. Also, we have mapped, of course, demand of the biogas in Nivala, and I will tell you what we know right now. As we know, when Russia closed the gas valves, demand for the biogas as a fuel is the highest ever. The European Commission has objective to increase biomethane production to almost 350 terawatt hours in a year. So as Sami almost told us, biomethane is poor methane when biogas typically consists 60% of methane and the rest is carbon dioxide. But as Sami said, this biogas could be upgraded to biomethane. But the equipment is quite expensive, but Demega offers this kind of equipment also. On the right, there is a biggest biogas plant in Finland. It produces 50 megawatt hours in a year. That might be an old information. According to Gasum, which is state-owned, the biggest biogas producer in Finland, they estimated that there is a potential to produce 10 terawatt hours in a year biogas, of which 4 terawatt hours from agriculture. Biogas production in Finland is now about only 1 terawatt hours. In Germany, it was a few years ago. The situation might have changed, but it was 40 terawatt hours in a year. This Gasum has set ambitious goal to produce 4 terawatt hours biogas by 2035, and coalition of Valio and Station 1 the same amount by 2030. Let's see what happens. This is the map from Ossi Kotavaara. He only took advantages of manure from cattle and pigs, and transportation in this map is 25 kilometers maximum from the biogas reactor potential location. And as we can see, the Nivala area shining in red, so there is a lot of potential biogas locations in Nivala area. We calculated this possible feedstock from manure from different kind of farmed animals, and it's about in Nivala 200,000 tons, which is a lot. There actually exist 300 farms in Nivala, so there's a great potential for producing biogas. This is the same chart from field mass, so-called green mass, and the overall production is 150,000 tons of different types of plants. But we don't, of course, know how much there could be possible to share to feed the reactor or reactors. As I said, we visited in farms, and there are actually 2 potential locations for biogas plants. This is one of those. There's 5 milk farms in a circle of 1 or 2 kilometers, and both this location have 2,000 cows. So this is only one of those 2 locations, but this is in an excellent place. As you can see, there is crisscross roads, main roads near these farms. So maybe there can be distributed biogas for cars or vehicles as well. And if we calculate in this area alone, there could be produced about 8 gigawatt hours per year. But of course, these biogas reactors takes about 1/3 of this energy. My opinion, and as Sami told us, these biogas will be used mainly in the farms, so they can be independent and self-sufficient in energy. And that's also our starting point. But as we have visited in these local enterprises, the local industry is very happy to use biogas produced in the area. There are still some enterprises using heavy oil as a fuel, and some of these companies uses natural gas. So these oil burners is simply to replaced with the gas burners, and of course these enterprises which are using natural gas, they can simply switch to using biogas. There are also some remote schools in the countryside still using oil for heating, so we have to discuss with Nivala to maybe we can replace those oil boilers or just changing those oil boilers to using biogas in the future. And there's no gas filling station in Nivala. Maybe there will be in the next stage, but as Sami showed us, the nearest gas filling station is actually in Vuorenmaa, and it's quite far away from Nivala anyway. So actually, me and Simo visited yesterday in this Vuorenmaa area, this Vuorenmaa farm. So quite funny incidents. Short summary. EU aims almost double biogas production by 2013. It's not almost double, but anyway. And there exists a huge potential for biogas production in Nivala area, especially agriculture. Local industry, these companies are very keen of using biogas in their process, but of course it depends on the price. The rule of thumb could be something like the 60 euros per megawatt hour. Okay, there are still some public buildings using this oil heating. Those can be changed to using biogas. We already know all produced biogas can be used in the area, and there is no gas filling station in Nivala. So maybe in someday in the near future there will be, because we really want to upgrade these biogas to suitable for vehicles. But of course, it's question of investment. Also, what we have, okay, this is on the planning stage, but Nivala Industrial Park together with local industry and development organization NIHAG, aims to have a solar park in Nivala. Total area, we have already mapped the location. There could be 10 or 13 hectares, and there could be produced 60 to 200 gigawatt hours electricity per year. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? Oh, Fabian's typing.
Yeah, I just started typing, but maybe I can ask it directly instead. Markku, maybe can you quickly talk about the public funding for such an investment? For example, if you build like a renewable energy production unit in Finland. I don't know, do we still have time to talk like 1 minute about, let's say, how much government support there is available for these kind of things?
Yes, I can. It's 50% for
Okay, that's
the
a
whole
lot.
investment. It is, but of course the prices of these biogas plants has already raised, and Sami knows better, but there is difficulties to have components also nowadays, as it applies all the industry. So yeah, I don't know about lead times. Those can be quite long, and as Sami told us, they are already sold out 5 biogas plants in half a year. So I think Demega people is quite busy right now. So what was the other question, Fabian?
No, basically that was maybe the only one. Just about public funding or how much, government support there is available. So that's all I need to know. So thanks. Yes.
Okay, just one. Of course, this funding is always a big question, and there are several models. This can be used, for example, taking companies involved, taking farmers involved, and everybody is investing a share or something. So, but I don't know about these so much. I'm not financial guy. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, that's all I needed to ask. Thanks.
Thanks, Fabian. Thanks, Markku. I don't think we have any other questions. Heidi, did you want to jump in?
Well, maybe not at this stage. But well, Markku, I was thinking that investing profit or benefit, does it concerns only the farms?
I suppose at the first stage, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I want these farms to be independent in energy.
Yeah.
So that's the first stage. Shall we say that? Of course, in the future, we can process this biogas to be suitable, for example, these vehicles, and sell it, because that's business. At the first stage, farms to be self-sufficient in energy.
Okay. Markku, you can stop sharing now so we don't have to keep looking at face on the screen. Thank you. Okay, so some really interesting presentations there, and a lot of things to have discussions about afterwards on the particulars of some of those farm-based and biogas-based potentials, and the future project proposal that we're going to be working on. Wanted to thank all of you, especially our speakers, for some really interesting presentations, both in this and our earlier seminar as well. We will be sharing the recording later, and the presentations. We did include links to some of the things that came up in the meeting in the chat, but those will all be included as well in the recording. Just once again, wanted to thank all of you for your participation, and especially to our speakers for giving us a really interesting conference. Heidi or Marco, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Just thank you all. Thank you,
Yeah.
Anne-Marie and Maiksa,
Yeah, also
for
on my
arranging
behalf.
this opportunity.